my newfound hippie side. Once ignored these conspiracies.
That's right. You're listening to Smart Health Talk Radio Show. That's where you're at. You're listening to KCAA. It's Tuesday, 4 o'clock. That's when KCAA Smart Health Talk is on the air. And
absolutely.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Elaine. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I tell you, I had such a great weekend. It was my favorite weekend of the very year.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And the first quarter's already done. Did you do anything special?
Well, if everyone was tuning in live on our KCARadio.com website, where you can actually see us right here in the studio.
We are streaming.
We are doing organic products today. So I've been to the biggest natural organic food show in the country, Expo West, over at Anaheim Convention Center.
Very good.
Couldn't even walk yesterday. Okay. It was like nothing moved you. That thing is huge. I mean, I never made it through the whole show. It's just so big. But anyway, we are Smart Health Talk. We believe that organic food, non-poisonous food, full of nutrition, fresh, real food, that's the stuff. That's the stuff that keeps you feeling good, keeps you young, keeps you having energy, free of disease. Who wants to be sitting in a hospital with some devastating disease? Nobody. And there are people that love you and need you. And that's why I'm here, because, we got to keep you healthy. And we know that organic is world changing.
Yeah, it is.
Because we can reverse climate change. You know that thing? There is, without a doubt, we have sea level rise. Andrew, we had Supervisor Kate Sears up in Marin County. She was our guest, and she explained how they're filing a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit up in Marin County to sue the oil companies, not for climate change, not for global warming, because we don't have the statistics and the clear, without a doubt data like we do with sea level rise. Oh, yeah, that sea's getting higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
And Supervisor Sears said that there is she's lived there like over 50 years. She said there is water where there has never been water before. And that coastline, all the houses, all the hotels or whatever it is along the ocean there, I mean, that's prime property. That's worth a lot of money. And if that's underwater, not worth much.
No.
No, but if you buy farther in, it might be beachfront someday.
Yeah.
Right?
What's that country song? Oceanfront property in Arizona?
Hey, you
never know.
Well, you want to hear something that's even more mind-blowing?
What's that?
It's way worse than we thought when it comes to sea level rise, because along with the sea level rising, guess what's happening to the ocean floor, Andrew?
I don't know.
It's sinking.
You mean wait, isn't it below sea level already? Why would it go further?
Because of the weight of the water from all the melting ice.
Oh.
It's put more weight on the sea floor, and the sea floor is actually sinking lower. So the sea level rise is actually higher
than what it's anticipated.
Than what we thought. That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this is we know that things are serious, and that's why they know they have a solid lawsuit. And then, did you hear what Arnold Schwarzenegger came out with?
What did the former governor say?
He said that he's suing the oil companies for billions of dollars.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah, he said they've been killing people. They've known this since the 50s. It's just like the tobacco companies. They knew cigarettes cause cancer. But as we discussed, I don't know if it was I think it was week before last, we were discussing about the organic tobacco cigarettes.
Yeah, well, last week we talked about how they're doubling the nicotine now in the cigarettes. So it's like 2 cigarettes in one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Because people aren't doing that kind of stuff anymore. Well, at least in California, it's very health conscious. So the way that they're trying to get people to buy cigarettes is they're altering the nicotine flavor, so you're getting double the hit now per cigarette.
Well, plus you're getting artificial flavors.
Well, yeah.
Just strawberry, when you talk an artificial strawberry, you're talking 50 chemicals that I have never heard of in my life, and I had all
Probably
kinds
can't
of
pronounce either.
I know. Who knows where they get this stuff or how they make this stuff up, but somehow you put 50 of those chemicals that I've never seen or heard of before, and you put those together and you get fake strawberries. So when you've got a bag of Skittles with 5 different flavors, I mean, there could be anywhere from 250, 500 chemicals that are hidden behind 2 words. Do you know what those 2 words are?
What are they?
Artificial flavor. Artificial flavor is hiding anywhere from 50 to 100, depending on how many flavors are actually in the product.
Right, right.
But all these things, fake meat, fake ranch dressing.
Yeah, seriously.
Anything just to get you addicted to it. And I tell you, they put chemicals in there that target that addictive part of your brain. And there's a lot going on with drugs. Actually, I wanted to share something. I have all these great organic products in front of me that I want to share with you that I found at the Natural and Organic Product Show.
Yeah.
And like some of these are new products that just came out. Because if you're going to buy organic, if we're going to reverse climate change by getting our soil back where it's full of microorganisms that pull that carbon out of the air and lock it in the soil and feed it to the plants like candy, that's why they're called carbs. It's carbon, right?
Right.
Okay? Right. And it's carbs to the plants. They love it. Well, when we start getting where we have more and more land, instead of taking our land and growing 3 crops where we used to grow hundreds for food that we could eat, we're growing for industrial purposes now, and we're subsidizing it with our taxpayer dollars. I tell you, I looked at the pie farm bill, which is coming up, everyone. We have got to get involved. We want organic food. We know that. Everyone wants it. They're just like, I can't afford it. Everyone would be buying organic if they could, because they all know it's better. People are concerned about pesticides, and you should be. These are some of the most toxic chemicals ever created, and you're putting them in your body. And your body's proteins are actually being made by Monsanto. Glycine, which is an amino acid, it's putting it into our protein strands. So we're literally becoming made by Monsanto, and we're accumulating glyphosate in our bone marrow. Now today, I just uploaded our interview from last week with Carrie Gillam, which was fantastic. She wrote the book Whitewash.
Yes, she did.
Yes, and she is like very, very popular because people know that she knows what she's talking about. She's not just shooting a bunch of hot air there. She's dealing in facts. She did the research. She has the information, the documentation to back it up.
And she was so nice because she was in D.C. doing her thing. She was so nice to call.
I thought she was in D.C., but I thought she was in that capital, but she was in Sacramento.
Oh, nah, she was doing something political at some government institution.
That's right. Well, she was at the court. She was at and I'm glad that you mentioned that because I wanted to clarify because I was wrong in the beginning. I was misinformed. She was in Sacramento because that was for the court case where Monsanto, even though California has decided we're going with the World Health Organization, their international cancer arm. They said Roundup is cancer causing. They said we're going with that. We're going with the top oncologists in the world. What they say. Yeah, like maybe we listen to our scientists, huh? Except the ones that work for Monsanto and are on their payroll. Instead, they're talking heads for the company. They actually ghostwrite their articles. So Monsanto writes the article, then they pay the scientists just to put their name to it.
Of course,
and say it's theirs, and they wrote it where everything in there is like making them look good, covering up the lies.
Yeah, well, that's a very common practice, ghostwriting. And if I come from the music business, and that's a thing,
Yeah, but when it comes to things that are serious like this, when it's how to Negotiate a Deal by Donald Trump, ghostwritten, is one thing. When we're talking about the kind of things that are poison, that destroy our environment, that destroy our bodies and our health, and our babies and cause them to be born with birth defects and learning problems and autism, you know, then there's like, to me, that's when I stop joking around, because I'm a dietitian. I'm very serious when it comes to life and death situations, because I'm here because I want to save lives. I want to save your life. I want to get you excited about food again, because I tell you, the food that I eat is the best. Nothing but the best for this body. That's right. Top quality. Hey, you got to set your sights high. You want to live long.
You got to shoot for the stars.
Hey, well, when it comes to your body, man, this is when we don't mess around and we don't just trust just anyone. Like if you were sick and in the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you want the doctor that like just barely passed?
Okay.
Working on you, or do you want the guy that was on the honor roll?
True story. Yeah, that's kind of a thing. Like I'll ask them where they got their degree from. You know, what is their GPA? Because I need to know these things if you're going to operate on me or do something to my body. You know,
there you go.
I need somebody that's experienced.
Well, that's what, you know. That's the same thing when it comes to the makers of the food that you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
Like I know personally the farmers that grow my food that I put in my body. I've known them for years. Some of them 20 years. I've been shopping from them.
Wow. And
they've been growing organic for decades. They're local farmers. I give my money to them. I'm supporting local families. I'm keeping the money in the community. It's a good feeling. I get the freshest, the best.
Growing up, I'll be honest, like organic really wasn't like a term or a name, you know, that I was aware of. It wasn't until I hit college that the whole idea of organic was something that, you know, I started to become more informed about. You know, I find that interesting because now it's everywhere.
Well, the thing is, it took 13 years to establish the USDA organic program.
Yeah.
And these were people that were fighting to get us away from chemical farming.
Yeah.
Because everything back then was being taken over by chemical farming, fertilizers and all that. And we were getting away from, you know, healthy soil. And healthy soil, when you increase the organic matter 1%, you have also increased the water absorption capacity of 1 acre by 20,000 gallons. So that means you don't waste 20,000 gallons of water because it doesn't just run right through. It's like a sponge with organic matter. It holds the water in place for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
So the roots have a chance to suck the water up. If it just runs through, like when you pour water on sand, it just runs right through. But clay, it like sits on top. It won't even penetrate,
just
right?
Hangs out, yeah.
But those are the extremes. You want in the middle. You want like fluffy soil. And it almost like smells like this fresh smell when you have really healthy soil.
Right.
And it's super fluffy and you have lots of earthworms and microorganisms in there. And it's able to hold water. The fact that when in California, where we are in a drought, we are in trouble. They said that even if we got like everyday snow in March, we wouldn't even catch up. So water absorption capacity as we move forward is everything. And that's what the organic program did, is it increased that organic matter where this conventional farming does not do that. It is killing our soil. And in about, we only have like, someone had just shared that with me on Facebook. It was such a good statistic. But we only have so many harvests left on these fields at this rate that we're going with this type of farming, that it's around 2050 that the land just says that's it.
Gives up.
You know, when you hit the wall, if you've ever been a jogger and there's that glycogen in your muscles, that's your fuel. And if you run out of that glycogen, that's when you hit the wall. So
what you're referring to isn't like what happened in the Dust Bowl. This is something different?
Well, in a way, it's like the Dust Bowl.
But does it come back eventually?
Only if you work it.
Uh-huh.
And you have to start growing cover crops on it, and you can bring it back. So that's if we start now.
But let's not get to that point, right?
Exactly. That's why I've been doing this show for almost 8 years. I've been trying to tell everyone, let's get started now. Let's not wait. We have to take that farm bill, billions of taxpayer dollars, and apply it to more organic agriculture, because that's what people want. We're not growing enough to even meet supply in this country, so we need more organic farms. We need to help them transition to organic, and there's different ways to do that where you don't have this like shock of going from dead soil to trying to put that life back in the soil. There's that transition period that's very hard for farmers, but there's ways that we can help them. I have had people on the show that are good at that, and so I know I got it solved, man. I just got to make a phone call. I got the people to take care of it. I got the people to help with the citrus disease. Pesticides are the problem. You know, I'm really sad today, Andrew, because my monarchs, I have them in my garage right now. I'm hoping they're going to make it to butterflies. I have about 8 chrysalis.
Oh, wow.
But I still have about 10 caterpillars, but I'm worried about every one of them because I lost about 10. They would start to turn, and they had the little green cap on their head, and then they just die. And then some of them, they get this weird, like, green juice. They die in different ways. There's all
but
these
why?
different
Is that just the circle of life? Like...
No, it's disease. It's bacteria. It's infections. And and a lot of these are caused because we're spraying too many pesticides. If you've ever had a pool, okay, and you put these chemicals in there, this hydrochloric acid and stuff to get the pool balanced right, and you have to test it. I did it once. Wrong once. We had a jacuzzi.
Yeah.
And if you do it wrong, that water gets funky.
Yeah. Me
really
too.
Funky.
I have a pool, and I my first year was like, I'm gonna be a pool guy, and I will never work in the pool industry. I'm not very good at it.
Yeah, there's really a key to having those chemicals balanced correctly.
Yeah.
But when you get to that point, you have all kinds of beneficial insects and hardly any of the bad guys.
Yeah.
They've done studies, and when they do nothing, because this is exactly what Dr. Jonathan Lundgren from Blue Dasher Farm said. He said, we need to just step back and leave the bugs alone and let them do their thing. And there is a study that showed that when we did that, we had it would be like, let's say, 5 inches on a graph of beneficial insects, and the bad bugs would be something like maybe a half an inch compared to like 5 inches, where they use pesticides. The bad ones are like the 5 inch, and the beneficials are like the 1/4 inch. So see how we're messing everything up, and that's why the soil is so weak, and the immune systems are so weak in these plants that they're susceptible to everything.
Now, is that like something that's just like a California problem, or farmers throughout the nation, they have the same struggles?
All over the world. This happens when you use these pesticides and these GMOs. It happens all over the world, and this is what's so devastating, because we are supposed to be using taxpayer dollars as well to protect America's interests. And they go, oh, well, Monsanto's an American company, so we're going to spend taxpayer dollars to send representatives. They went and bullied other countries to use Monsanto GMOs and their pesticides. We have bullied country after country, and we have threatened them with money. Oh, we'll take this away unless you use Monsanto.
Oh, yeah. No, I believe it.
Yeah, so we're going around telling people, get rid of the system that you've used for thousands of years that you have fertile soil, and you have your own seeds that you save every year. You don't have to buy them. You can share them. Or a system where you're dependent on fertilizers, chemical fertilizers, you're dependent on pesticides, you're dependent on expensive seeds. These people don't have it, and they have billboards in places like India where they get celebrities, and they tell farmers, you are going to be a millionaire if you grow Monsanto GMO. And then they fail, they get heavily in debt, and they kill themselves. But I think they kill themselves for another reason. I think the pesticides make them want to kill themselves. I had a farmer tell me that 30 years ago he was using paraquat and DDT and these other pesticides, and he would lay in bed and have thoughts of killing himself. And when it got to that point, he said, that's it. His wife said, we're not using any more of these pesticides. We're going organic. And he'd been organic for 30 years. And his peaches and his nectarines and all that were just like, I got to go pick all I want. I was like in heaven that day in the peach orchard. Okay, we have a couple of really big announcements. This is a good one.
All right, let's hear them.
We got a good one. We're still waiting to hear what's going on in the Sacramento court. We don't have any. I think they're doing their, maybe their closing arguments. Actually, I'm hoping it goes longer because maybe the judge will get even more educated. Okay, this is a big one. And this is thanks to our friends over at the Center for Biological Diversity, a nonprofit group that has been on our show before. And what I call this group is a bunch of I don't know if I could say the word that I tweeted. But anyway, this is a group. This is a group of that kick booty. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll say that they kick booty. They're a group of lawyers that are dedicated to making our world a better place and protecting us and our future and the future of our children. And that's why my hats are off to the Center for Biological Diversity. Now, you may know that Trump, Obama put a bunch of laws in place that were reducing pollution. Unfortunately, Trump is coming along and
he's visiting us today.
Reversing, I know, and he's down there and I really encourage everyone to go to our YouTube. We have interviews with like the National Butterfly Center that is right on the border on the Rio Grande. They are going to totally destroy that whole area. They caught them there with bulldozers in November.
Oh, no.
Just taking everything down when no wall has been approved. That is protected land.
Yeah.
And the woman just happened, the director of the Butterfly Center just happened to go down there and see the bulldozers there. And she had to call the police to stop them. They were ready to bulldoze.
Trying to get an early start on that wall.
And there are hundreds of endangered species on that property.
I bet.
The last area in Texas that is the natural habitat. 300 species of butterflies, which is half of all the species we have in the United States. Right next door to them is the International Bird Sanctuary.
Oh, no.
We have the Rio Grande River. There is people that live there that have business, and they're not that well off, and you put the wall up, and then that's the end for them.
That's it. Done deal.
That's it. And we're going to destroy. There's migratory animals that go back and forth. I mean, this is a river and all this stuff has been there.
Yeah.
You know, we make this mistake. We disturb migration pathways. Well, let's go build some houses out there so people can live with watch the animals, you know, that live out there and be like they're one with it. Oh, well, then they build the houses right in the middle of their migration pathway.
Yep.
You know, these people do not think. Okay. So anyway, I guess the Center for Biological Diversity took it to court, and the federal judge today ruled that the Environmental Protection Agency broke the law when it failed to enact nationwide standards to curb deadly ozone pollution. The decision affects cities and rural areas across the country where ozone pollution levels are too high, including New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Phoenix, Salt Lake City, Atlanta, the Bay Area, Utah's Uinta Basin. And if you live there, then you know what I'm talking about. And people don't realize pollution is a killer. And it kills people. Asthma kills people. This triggers asthma attacks. I know that over in Baltimore, their air was, I'm surprised they're not on the list. They're only 87% of the air in Maryland is not supposed to be a standard for breathable. It's so dirty.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were going to clean that up, and then they put all this money to get this Republican governor elected his first day. Scratch that, and not just that, but in Florida where they have this algae blooms. Have you heard of those? It's just destroying everything. What does that come from? Nitrogen. Where does that come from? Oh, fertilizer. And where does that come from? Fracking, natural gas. That's what our food comes from, natural gas that we fracked out of the ground. And so it's super high in nitrogen, not like regular soil, not like compost. No, all this nitrogen concentrated in there, way too much. The runoff goes into our waterways, and because of all that nitrogen in the water, the algae flourishes, and it sucks all the oxygen, everything dies. So they tried to pass laws in Florida that would stop the sugar industry. There is a GMO pesticide sugar industry that is huge in Florida. And they are the ones that have pretty much destroyed all of these waterways. So we can have, glyphosate-laden sugar, and it's not, well, they're going to start, they grow GMO beets and the sugar cane, which now we have GMO sugar cane, everyone. And by the way, in Brazil, they just started growing it. And these are, we have not been able to get that GMO label, so people don't even know if they're eating GMO sugar or that GMO rice that we've approved to be brought in from China. That's their first attempt at a GMO. We're the guinea pigs. Yeah. So we can thank Purdue for that. He said, okay, yeah, sure, we'll take your GMO rice from China, the first GMO that you ever made. You can experiment on our American public unknowingly to them. It's okay with me. Okay, so anyway, they said, Trump, I guess you're not going to be able to do that. So that's one good win. We're hoping that we get another good win in Sacramento with this decision on glyphosate, because there's a lot of people out there with cancer right now. And we don't have universal health care. I have a whole section on our website. If you go to smarthealthtalk.com and you click on that, I have interview after interview. If you're unsure whether universal health care is something you should be supporting, please go click on that. It's right on our homepage. How many people in this country are living in fear? And the thing is, this can happen to anyone. 65% of our bankruptcies are for medical care costs. And these are people that 3/4 of those people had insurance when they started, when they got sick. And they could have paid for insurance their whole life. And as soon as they get sick, that insurance company is plotting how they're going to get rid of them, because they don't want to pay for those health care costs. And there could be a procedure that could save their life, and the insurance company says, too bad, we're not paying for it. And there you are. Nothing you can do about it.
That's all she wrote.
Yep, you're a goner from that point, unless you got money in the bank, but you may have already went through all of it. And so the thing is, we have enough money. We are spending more on defense. And with this last one, it's probably the top 20 countries combined, doesn't even equal our defense budget. For sure, the top 14. The last budget was the top China, Russia. Add all those budgets together, and it still doesn't equal the total of our budget for defense. But we can't have health care here. We got people homeless on the street. We got people dying because they can't get health care, suffering in this country, losing their homes, losing their jobs. Their life is just like going in the toilet after they've worked hard and paid their bills and did everything right their whole life. It is just not right. And we're living in fear. Well, guess what? They don't have to live in fear in those 14 other countries that aren't spending as much on defense as us, because they're taking care of their people with universal health care. What is more important? We got to start paying attention to us, and we got to start saying, hey, what are you spending our taxpayer dollars on? Because I want to hear about it, and I want to find out if it's okay with me. We got to start doing that, and we need to get out there and vote. If we don't vote, what happens in this country is not a reflection of what the people need and want in this country.
I am curious that if like 90% of voters actually showed up for voting,
yes, what would happen?
What would happen?
I know. I've always wondered that.
It makes you wonder, because, I mean, it's not even half. Like, I think they just said voting, like 30% of something that's voting right now showed up, and it's like, what if it was even half of that, or 90%? Like, how dramatically different would it be?
Well, and since I have this one thing up right here, I'm going to share with you something new I discovered today, because as on Smart Health Talk, you're going to hear about stuff you never hear about on television, because I dig deep. I am a researcher. I am a research journalist, and I uncover a lot of different things. Now, and it's because I know so much that I know when I see something that's important. And what I found out today, the average cost per patient per year, 2010 to 2014, for drugs. Okay, what I started off looking at, I'm wondering what drugs are selling the most, because I have seen the cancer maps for this country. I did a whole section on my blog, which is under news, everyone, on our Facebook page, our Smart Health Talk page. And where you hear that these insurers were like leaving and deserting the people?
Yeah.
Guess where those places are?
Where are
they?
Where
the highest cancer rates are.
I don't know.
No, I'm saying where the insurance companies are leaving are where the highest cancer rates are.
Oh.
And those high cancer rates are mostly where all the pesticides are. And then you lay that over, and that's where the highest obesity rates are.
Are you trying to tell me, Elaine, that there is a direct correlation?
Well, I am telling you that where I spent hours looking at this.
Yeah.
I went through all the states. I went through where they were going, where they were leaving, and I was like going over these cancer rates like crazy, and I'm like, I want to find out, because you know what? I have kind of a diabolical mind. And
I get that.
And that's why I can figure out what they're up to. Because if I were them, and cancer is the most expensive, Oh,
yeah,
like,
it's a business.
Well, it's not just that, but we have hepatitis C.
That's another one.
We can cure that for $100,000.
Right.
And see, what I'm talking about here are these other kinds of drugs. They're called, we have orphan, and then we have non-orphan drugs. And these orphan drugs are the one for specialty rare diseases. And there's like so many of them. There's so many of these, like there's something like 7,000 of these rare diseases, but we have 30 million people that have them. But we've only got drugs for like only 5% of them. There's still 95% of them that we have no cure. But these orphan drugs, to get the drug companies to make drugs for those diseases, they give them all kinds of tax breaks up and down and all around, where the cost of creating that drug is less than creating a drug that would be like mass produced. And they are able to charge whatever they want for it, like $100,000 to get cured of hepatitis C or whatever. And so this is big money, and we have to factor all this in when we're thinking about the future of our health care. Because get this, I could not even believe the numbers. Okay, if we have 30 million people
30 million
that are using these orphan drugs, okay, and we have $111,000 is the average amount spent per year on each one of those patients. That came out to $3 trillion just on these orphan drugs, Andrew. Just on the orphan drugs. That is not even counting the non-orphan drugs, which added another like $23,000. But the thing is, the orphan patients, there's 30 million of them. So 3 trillion. And this is what I mean. Single payer, we go to these drug companies, we have the power. Right now, who has the power? The drug companies are playing us. They are making us sick. They're giving us diabetes. They're giving us high blood pressure. Dialysis. Dialysis is like $100,000 a year, at least.
Oh, yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
That's a business all on its own.
Yeah, okay. Hemodialysis treatment costs on average $89,000 per patient annually in the United States. This amounts to a total annual hemodialysis cost in the United States of $42 billion. And this is absorbed through the Medicare budget. That is a lot of money. You know, and these cancer drugs, that is the biggest moneymaker for them. And the person making the most is Pfizer. Oh yeah, Pfizer and Monsanto, one and the same. They split off so people wouldn't see that they were together. Monsanto grows GMO corn that's then used as a nutrient broth for GMO bacteria that make insulin and other drugs. And that nutrient broth we are subsidizing with taxpayer dollars, paying for that GMO corn that then goes to Pfizer for a super cheap price so they can make an even bigger profit off of their bacteria, because they got that nutrient broth from the GMO corn subsidized by taxpayer dollars even cheaper than they would have had to pay for it. And then they're jacking up the price of the drugs so much that they are making billions and billions and billions of dollars. And then these orphan drugs, we are giving them all of these tax breaks. This is ridiculous. Yes, we want people to have these drugs, but really 95% of them don't even have the help that they need. So anyway, that was like a little thing that I uncovered this past week that I found somewhat upsetting.
What happens when Elaine gets upset? Do you? I mean, is it? Are you
I
quiet at your
show
house?
And I tell people, I come on the show. I tweet like crazy. I post on social media all the time.
Yeah.
I keep people in the loop. I let them know what's going on. So then we had another big thing that happened today. That was, and this was the bad one. Okay, we had the one good one where Trump lost in court that he can't pollute our air. We can move forward with these clean air goals that we had in place. The other thing that happened is organic standards. Like I said, we fought 13 years for that, to get away from chemical farming. Now, because big money came and took over the organic industry, because we're making money now. See, they want nothing to do with us before. And then when people built it up and we started making money, then they want it. Well, they are trying to dilute the organic industry to meet their factory farm standards, their pesticide, their chemical standards. They're trying to push organic back over into chemical farming by approving hydroponic products. And I am working on a big section for this. I want to expose, because this is ripping people off of nutrition and flavor and quality. And they're getting, you're getting food, but again, it's a chemically grown product. It's empty. It doesn't have like miles of microcosy fungi under the soil there delivering nutrients to the plants because of this huge network of microorganisms in the soil. Now It's got some little thing there, and it's got all these tubes, and I found a really good picture I'm going to put together with that, with this baby that has tubes all going through it, because I had someone said it was just like an IV to keep the dead alive. It's just barely keeping them alive. It is not giving them the full nutrition possible to keep it alive. You've got all these tubes coming in there. They get algae in there. The algae clog the tubes. Then they got to put like what in there to get the algae out. So anyway, unfortunately, the standards we had set for chickens and eggs Trump just took those away. We were actually trying to set higher standards so these factory farms couldn't slip their factory farm where the chickens never get to go outside, or they give them one little tiny spot. They're all crowded in there. We were going to get rid of that, but unfortunately Trump is going to allow them to do that. Now, I wonder why he made that decision. Oh, well, maybe those mega farms like Purdue and all those pushed him a little bit, right? Because they want that bigger profit margin.
Right.
That's what it's all about. Okay. I want to get to the great things in front of me here that I found at the Expo West show.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I gave you some cereal there. That was
You did. Let me switch cameras here so I can show the audience. Hey, hello.
Yeah, that
golden turmeric, or is it turmeric?
Turmeric, yeah.
Turmeric cereal. This is organic.
Yeah, that's Nature's Path. That's a company I used to work for.
So is this a new one on the market?
Yes, that's brand new. And as you know, turmeric is a great anti-inflammatory.
I actually do dabble it a little in like my broths and stuff when I cook at home.
All right, we know we love that. Okay, well, we got to get through this. So we got.
Well, I'm going to try it real quick.
Andrew's going to try that, of course. Turmeric, anti-inflammatory.
Yes, I'm crunching on the air. Oh my God, that is really good.
Isn't it amazing?
It's like cornflakes, but with a little spice.
But it has quinoa. And all these other really great grains in there.
I approve.
Yeah, and then the turmeric I know that turmeric could taste that good, right?
Yeah, no, it's really bizarre.
I know, it's so
great. This is
great.
good for me? What?
Nature's Path, everyone. Check it out. Their new turmeric.
6 grams of protein in this.
Yes.
Very good.
And not that much sugar either.
No.
Okay, and then I got some other protein foods here because we are trying. I have kind of my proteins over here. I have this one's organic fermented protein and greens, a vegan superfood shake, and this is by it's So True, TRU, So True Fermented Whole Food Nutrition. This is where it's at. This is the kind of products. It's organic. It has. I'm trying to see. Fermented organic oats. Okay, so it has wheatgrass and wheat. So they ferment them, which means it makes the nutrition easier.
Right.
And it also, the oxalic acid, it won't cause you to get stones as easily. Okay, then we have, and there's bread you can buy like that too, and other things, sprouted grains. I highly recommend organic sprouted grains. Okay, Organic Valley, Organic Fuel, Whey Protein Powder. Stay away from those protein powders that you buy, those muscle protein powders, because those are made from synthetically made amino acids.
Okay, but is that all powders? Because I use Vega.
Okay, well, that one's better, but unfortunately it's not organic.
We'll have to talk afterwards then. I'm going to have to switch it up.
I know that. I've got a couple others.
Okay.
This is a really great one here. It's 26 grams of protein, 140 calories.
That's good.
That's huge.
Yeah.
3 grams of sugar. I mean, this is vanilla flavor whey protein powder by Organic Valley. 26 grams of protein. Forget Ensure. Forget all that crap. Please don't buy that stuff. It is so terrible. And don't buy like the Atkins crap either. Oh God. I read those labels. I just go I just kind of go into this coma or something. I don't know what it is. Okay, one of my favorite companies, Safe Catch and Wild Planet, my 2 favorite canned fish companies. I love the, oh God, what is it? The, starts with an M. It's the fish that has all the vitamin D in it. I can't even think of it. Mackerel. The mackerel, yeah. Wild Planet has the best. And they test for mercury, and Safe Catch tests for mercury. And the bigger the fish, the more mercury. And tuna get to be really big. So you want a company that's testing for mercury and other heavy metals. But now Safe Catch has these great little packets and cans that are flavored, already flavored for you. This one is habanero, mint, and wild tuna. Woo, and I like that. I like it spicy. I'm going to definitely be liking that. Okay, I've got here Gimme, which Gimme and Sea Snacks are my 2 favorite seaweed companies. They have some new products. It's like pieces of crispy seaweed. They're like wafers, and they have almond sesame, toasted coconut, and sriracha almond. So it's 2 pieces of seaweed with the almonds in between. I have my Humboldt chocolate here.
I see. Is that a soda can that I see right there?
Yes, this is actually kombucha.
Oh.
0 sugar. They didn't use stevia or any of those other things. They used monk fruit.
Ooh.
And this is root beer, 0 calories. Yeah, 0 calories, 0 fat, 5 carbohydrates, and it has probiotics in it. And it tastes like root beer, and it is way better than any of those conventional
Is it carbonated?
Products. Yes, because of the probiotics.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I tell you, this is like one of my best picks of the show.
Where do I get that?
All different flavors. like black cherry. I mean, all their products are just incredible. They have so many different things.
Where can that be picked up at?
Probably on Amazon. You could probably get it.
Okay.
California farms here, they make sweetened condensed milk, organic. They make organic evaporated milk. And they make, oh my gosh, look at this syrup for your ice cream. Salted caramel sauce, all organic. Oh my God, I tell you, that is like so incredible. And I love this company, Singing Dog Vanilla. Vanilla is so expensive. They grow it. You know, poor people are trying to grow this, and those vanilla beans are so expensive. People are trying to steal them.
Yeah.
You have to guard them right before you get to pick them because everyone wants to steal them. But this is vanilla frosting mix, all organic. I can't wait to try this. I'm going to bring you guys some cupcakes, okay? I promise. Maybe next week. Okay, then I have this really great company. I loved them called Royal Palm. Here's their dates, but they had 2 other date syrup and a date sugar that was absolutely incredible. And I tell you, this is a wonderful alternative sugar. And it's full of fiber and full of iron and all the other nutrients because dates are a superfood. They're like dessert with all kinds of nutrition. That's my go-to when I want something sweet. I love Lifeway Kefir. They now have some great little supplements with probiotics. I tell you, they are some of the probiotic kings out there. I just fell in love with this lady from Brazil. It's Surya, Surya Brazil. They have a henna cream.
Ooh.
Henna creams are great because they're non-toxic. They really do great things for your hair.
Right.
Another great product, vegan, because this is vegan. Then we have Imani, EMANI. All of their cosmetics and products are vegan. They're not animal tested, and they are absolutely wonderful. I love, love, love them. I have my Humboldt. Here's something. Peeled snacks, peas, please. It's like little cheese puffs, but it's made from peas for children.
So they're peas.
Yeah, they're really made from peas.
Peas puffs.
It looks like a cheese puff, but it's made from peas. So it's a healthy snack for kids, all organic. Peeled Snacks is a great company. I really love them a lot. Okay, we got 1 more minute. Oh, here's my little French dessert in the jar. It's Petite Pot. And the guy was, yes, we have this dessert. It's very delicious, you know. I'm from France, right? It was like I love going to the show. It's my people, man. I just love it. I get to learn about it. And I'm going to be doing more of this. We're trying to teach how to be smart organic shoppers. These are the companies to buy. Don't buy corporate organic, unfortunately. Found out Justin's peanut butter used to be all organic, got bought by Hormel. Now they have one organic product and the rest are not. And that's what happens when these corporations buy organic companies. They make them not organic anymore because they don't want organic to succeed.
Yeah.
That's why we're going to beat them by not buying corporate organic and buying from good family companies like I talked about today. Okay, we'll talk. Thanks so much for tuning in to Smart Health Talk. Hope you learned something new today and go to our Blue Monarch Project. Support our effort to bring the monarchs back. We're going to be having plant sales. Find out those too. Thanks a lot. I'm Elaine McFadden, your host. Bye.
The other stations claim to be local. Yeah, right. KCAA Radio, the only true local radio station on your radio dial.
Personality, and you should have your own talk show. Many of us have been told that, but we don't know how to get started. It's easier than you think. Let the pros at Cali Vegas give you a free talent evaluation. Call 949-445-1119 and learn how quickly you can create, produce, and host your very own talk show. Imagine not having to sit in traffic every day, commuting back and forth to the same old boring job. Get started in television or radio today with your free talent evaluation from Cali Vegas. Call 949-445-1119 or visit them online at calivegas.com. Make your dream come true today and create your new career and learn how to become a television or radio star with the help of Cali Vegas. 949